My name is Funmilayo Ransome Kuti,
wife of the Right Reverend,
mother of Dulupo Olikoye Fela and Beko Larry.
This is about the plight of the Egba market women. Kabiyesi, this is concerning the flat rate tax on the women, the water level.
Ẹ̀yin obìnrin tí wọ́n ṣe ń rẹ́ àwọn obìnrin yẹn jẹ. Ó tẹ̀ tí wá sún wa wọ́n wá gbé tuntun dé bá wọn ní ká máa sanwó omi.
The ARIKE has brought the fight to us. It is now time for us to take the fight back to him.
Pípẹ́ tí mò ń pè yín ni pé ká dìde lá.
Just give the order.
If you fail, you must try again.
Àgbájọwọ́ báyìí la fi ń sọ̀yà.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to ARIKE'S Arena. To my channel, welcome back to ARIKE'S Arena. If you're new here, please like the video, subscribe, go down below, leave a comment with the hashtag new so we can welcome you to ARIKE. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know I got much love for you. This channel is our own now, shit, you know. Okay, you guys, as you can already tell from the title, it's a movie review today, so I'm gonna keep the drama to the best. Mom, God help us. So I'm going to be reviewing the movie Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. It came out recently, I think June. It was produced and directed by Bolanle Austin Peters, same person that did Man of God. FRK is a biopic of Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. Now, while we were growing up, right, in social studies, they taught us she was the first woman that drove a car in Nigeria. That's about all we knew. So I think this was very needed, actually. It was very necessary. And let me just put it out there. I love this movie. Now I'm going to point out a few positives and negatives and here, but just so that you know, just so that you know that I absolutely love this movie. Now, like I said, it's a biopic, so I'm not going to be talking about the storyline. I mean, since they're literally just replaying the life of FRK, right? But we're going to talk about other things: character presentation, casting, progression, delivery, then cinematography. So I think those are the things I'm going to be speaking to. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So like I said, I'm not going to be saying much for the storyline since it's a biopic, but let me just mention that I think that we need more of this. I mean, to think that there was so much that went on through FRK's life that we didn't know, right? The whole story with the Egba women, you know, the women's union, all of that. No, I mean, I don't know if it's general information, but just to think that something that deep happened and we just never got to hear of it till now. So I think it's thumbs up to Funmilayo Ransome Kuti for thinking of a movie like this. So now let me go straight to the progression of the movie. Now, to be honest, I think I'll give them a straight 8 out of 10, right? It was so beautiful how they were able to take us through an entire journey without the movie itself was about, I think, an hour and 30 minutes long, right? So at the end of the day, they didn't draw the movie, they didn't drag the movie. I mean, there are movies that are 2 hours and longer and they don't even deliver that much. Do you get my gist? So they took us all the way from the young Funmilayo, and this was played by Iyimide. Oh, I'm coming back to casting anyways, but the kids, the younger versions of both Funmilayo and the husband Israel, right? They did exceptionally well. But yeah, like I was saying, the progression was smooth. They took us from childhood to teenage years and trying to point out how she has developed that sense of activism, right? So it didn't seem like they just dumped the story on us when she became Kehinde Bankole, right? So I think that was really beautiful in terms of progression. And then another thing was that so because it's a biopic, right, they would have been in their rights to just focus on FRK's story, but they did a bit of, you know, letting us into the other characters, you know, letting us into their lives, letting that build, such that it wasn't unilateral. Jigga, there were many angles to it, and there were other storylines to keep the audience glued. So yeah, I think that was a great one on their part. Yeah, what other thing do I want to say about progression? Yeah, also maybe I'm going to talk about that in cinematography, but their portrayal of, you know, the old age and the new age, because now it was Joke Silva telling the story, right, post Second World War and after the Kalakuta incidents at Fela Kuti's residence, right? So this was Joke Silva telling the story, I think, to a Spanish reporter, right? So being able to date back and actually let us see that, you know, just aside from the difference in age and all of that, we were able to tell just by the cinematography that, you know, it was a different time that we were working with. So yeah, I think that was good. In terms of progression, I probably should even be giving them a 10, because like it was smooth. It was really smooth. There really were no loopholes, you know, in the progression. Now let me go to casting. To be honest, like I said, I think I already put it out there before that I really love this movie, because if you're being practical, you know, you could be someone that doesn't like history or that doesn't like biopics or whatever it is, but I mean, in terms of movie assessment, like as a movie production, regardless of whether or not it's something you have a liking for, you'd have to give this movie almost a 10 out of 10. Like it was just great. It was just great. So now let me go to casting, where I can't believe how they got what's it called, the young versions of Kehinde Bankole. In fact, the progression from Iyimide to Kehinde Bankole to Joke Silva, flawless, absolutely flawless, because I think they did something with their character development, right? So you could still see the mannerisms of Iyimide in in Kehinde Bankole, the mannerisms of Kehinde Bankole in Joke Silva. So it was just, I mean, no, it was just beautiful to watch. And then Israel to what's his name now, Ibrahim Suleiman, that too was absolutely impeccable. Then the chiefs and the king was these are some of our old actors, right? And I just must say that they picked. Now the funny thing is, there were some, you know, more renowned actors who, you know, played chief, and you'd wonder, oh, why didn't they let this person play king? But I just must say that I think Austin Peters is quite particular about, you know, casting, because the person who played king, you know, the moment when the old rancor started and all of that, he was supposed to play some sort of lackadaisical, but he's also worried and all of that. You see that blend, that when you have to play confused, when you have to put out two confused emotions at the same time, it's just beautiful to see a good delivery, and that was what they did. The kings, the chiefs absolutely played their roles right. I think another thing that I want to quickly speak to is the scripting, right? They did really well. I mean, the conversations, aside, now we get the central message, right? Kehinde Bankole is coming for the Alake, the chiefs are trying to find a solution, blah blah blah. There are conversations that kept us going. There were bits of, you know, comedy here and there, because this is somewhat tragic, right? And it was just beautiful that there was enough joy to the movie get joy regardless. You know, there was enough joy to keep us going. So I think I like that. Then let me talk about cinematography. Oh my days. Oh God. I am absolutely in love. I need to actually check who was in charge of the cinematography for this movie. I am absolutely in love with the angles, with the progression, like I said, you know, time change and all of that. I think I also like the fact that video angles helped us to focus. You know, there were scenes that it seemed like there was so much going on, but the video angles helped us to focus on what was, you know, essential at that time. So yeah, I think I am absolutely impressed. Now I think I should quickly go to costumes. I didn't even mention that before, but let me quickly go to costume, right? Let me just say that they did well in replaying the costumes of the old Egba and all of that. However, I think there were places where, you know, the costuming wasn't natural. Let me say, what's her name now? Omawumi Dada, she's the sister-in-law of Funmilayo Kuti, right? There were scenes where they made tie, it was a rich outfit, but then they made her tie the wrapper up here, right? And she was just going to the market or something like that. So like nobody wears that to the market, no matter, except you are the queen and you are going to the market with a shawls behind you. Just an average person, and they painted her as an average person, I mean, according to the storyline, right? So there was no reason for her to be also dressed to be at the market. You get my gist? So I think for the costume, I can't, there were a couple of others that I just noted, but it's not coming to mind right now. But yeah, I think there were times that it seemed like it was overdone, like it just wasn't natural. Like in that time, would anybody, because then their rich outfits were for very special days, and so when there is something happening at Ojudioba, you can imagine how very richly people would come out and all of that. So they don't waste those outfits on just any outings. You get my point? So I think that was something I wanted to point out with the costuming. Which other thing do I want to talk about? I've talked about cinematography, progression. Oh yeah, delivery. Oh my days. I honestly think most of them, even the extras, delivered so well. And I think that if you watch any of my movie reviews, you realize that this is one thing that really strikes me with movies. When, a lot of producers don't put so much into getting good actors to play extras, right? Or even actors that don't take their roles seriously because they know that they're extras. So when I see movies that even the extras, like you go to do, like, more, this person should be in a proper movie, like this person should be taking it. And that's how you grow. That's how you grow. I mean, in terms of the career, right? Because you have played an extra so impressively that somebody has seen that, oh wow, that's excellent. And then they think of putting you in another role that, it's not an extra. So I think I like it when I see movies where the extras are delivering, you get. And I could absolutely give that for, there were places where they had a mass of women, right? And all the women were in their emotions, and it was just beautiful to see. And guess what? That's exactly what what good delivery does. Because if we had seen those scenes and it seemed like some people were just aloof while some people were doing all the getting in the emotions and all of that, it's going to lose us. Do you get? You're just not as taken into the movie as when everybody's in their emotions and there's no distracting face, so to say. So you are literally in that moment. And so I think I can absolutely give them that. To be honest, I struggle to find loopholes in the story. Like I said, truth is, one thing that's quick to criticize with most movies is their storyline, is that sense of not closing up their side stories or just the progression of the main story and stuff like that. But because this is a biopic, right, that saves them from a lot of that. They're literally just telling what's it called, Funmilayo and some Kuti's story. And honestly, it's again, I just must admit that it is beautiful that someone sat and just thought about bringing these stories to life, because these are the stories that make us, right? These are the stories that make us. Nollywood is growing now, and we're getting global recognition and all of that. It would be disservice to ourselves if we're not using that recognition to shine the light on our history. So I wouldn't say I'm much of an historical person, but I think it's just really beautiful to show us the fights that, and somewhere in the movie, I think the children were in the hospital to see Joke. Oh, have I spoken about Joke Silva? Oh my God. That old humor, that sense of, I've seen it all. Like, even when she's telling a really sad part of the story, you just can't tell that, there's a certain humor that old people have that comes from a sense of not to one shock me again. Do you get my point? And she had that. So even when she was telling the most heart-wrenching part of the story, she was still able to deliver that slight humor just around it. And I think that just made it perfect, right? That made it perfect for me. And then there was something I wanted to speak to. Yeah, there was a point where the children, that's Femi, no, I can't remember the names, the four children of Funmilayo and some Kuti, right? They came to see her at the hospital, and there was this argument about whether or not I think the oldest daughter didn't want the reporter to come because she's like, why are you stressing this woman? Number one, you people are just here for your own good. It's not like you care about our story and all of that. And what's called Fela Kuti was just like, let them know, let the world know, like, this woman has done so much for the Egba people, and it's funny how the world doesn't know about this. And truly it was beautiful to see that progression from from when they created the Abeokuta Ladies Club to the Abeokuta Women's Union to the fight with the Egba to the confrontation. And the first day she went to see the Egba, the Alake, she literally spoke to him on her knees because they wouldn't let her stand. Like she wanted to stand there, like, why who do you think you are to stand, and to sit before the king, remain on your knees. Nobody has told you to stand up and all of that. So the next time that, after there was an opera and, they were in front of the palace for days, by the time they were calling her back in, when the king gave her a response, she was like, Shekpe, you can actually respond to me. Like the other time, it was as though now go to have been a cow they talk, but look at it now. And so I think it's absolutely beautiful that they showed us, they shone the light on these beautiful parts of our history. So I think that's about it for today's movie review. I think I should quickly give my score, right? I was going to give an 8 out of 10, but looking at it sincerely, without need to, why we going to give them past 8? To be honest, I think it absolutely deserves a 9 out of 10, a very solid 9 out of 10. So I think that's about it for Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. If you're thinking, maybe you'd want to watch something like this, absolutely. Except you really, you don't like history, I don't know, or you don't even like cultural movies. You get? I mean, we all have our preferences, right? But as for whether it's a good movie, oh my god, it is an excellent movie. So thank you for coming to my movie review today. I tried and kept the drama. I think we should have a next episode sometime soon, but fingers crossed. But thank you for joining me on today's episode, and hope to see you sometime. Be sure to catch up on our old videos if you haven't. There's a life update video that I dropped recently. You can check that out. I mean, I had a lot to say. But anyways, thank you all for being on this episode with me. I love you plenty.